Okay, so before we get into the Crew 2, I just wanted to quickly say one thing. You might be on the fence with this game. Part of you wants to buy it, the other part not so much. You're out there checking reviews and you notice that some people are praising the absolute shit out of this game, while others not so much. So let me just explain something real quick. Those that have car racing themed YouTube channels, not all of them, but some of them will go out there and hype the shit out of a game, even if they believe it's not that great, because their livelihood depends on it. Their channel covers racing games, and as we all know, it's not like years ago where these things were coming out left and right. There's only so many racing games nowadays, so when one comes out, well, they want you to watch videos on it. More specifically, they want you to watch their videos, okay? Also worth noting, Ubisoft has a program called UbiStar, where they select certain individuals they feel will be good for their brand. In other words, people that are more than likely going to shill for them, okay? And last but not least, as many of you might or might not know, Ubisoft, amongst many other companies, have a tendency to go out there and dump money into these streamers and bigger YouTubers. In other words, they're getting paid to say good things about a video game, okay? Am I trying to say all the good reviews out there are paid for and things like that? No, not at all. But I want you to know there are quite a few shilling motherfuckers out there that will sell you down the river, tell you shit they know in their heart isn't true, in order to make a buck. This is how it is. This is how it's always going to be. It's up to you, though, to read between the lines and know what's what, who's who, okay? With that out the way, the Crew 2. I'm just going to put this out there and make this as simple as possible, just in case you don't want to sit through the entire video. The Crew 2. If you're into racing games, you're more than likely going to get some level of enjoyment out of it. And like I said before, because we don't have an abundance of racing games like we did once upon a time, it's slim pickings. Secondly, if you are a racing fan, especially if you're a sim fan, well, let's talk about this. I see a lot of people out there saying, well, it's sim-ish. It's between a sim and arcade. I don't buy into that. I feel it's either simulator or it's not simulator, okay? And this game is not simulator. Does that mean by default it's a shit game? No, it's not simulator though. So if you're looking for simulator, well, I would suggest to keep looking. Unless part of you also can appreciate arcade racing games. The Crew 2 is an online-only endeavor, meaning if you don't have an online connection, you're shit out of luck, you can't play this game. Meaning, if they're doing maintenance, or let's just use another example, let's just say their system is down and they just can't figure out why. Well, you're not going to be able to play this game. Now, I could understand if I felt that online infrastructure was necessary, that it was warranted due to the structure of the game. But the game, this game, Crew 2, as it stands, feels more like a solo experience than anything else. And to me, that's absolutely insane. So, you can buy cars with real cash. Now, some people are out there making excuses saying, wait a minute, asshole, it doesn't matter because there is no PvP in this game, therefore it's not pay to win or anything like that. Well, first of all, I feel any game that has a competitive nature to it, any edge, no matter how slight, is still an edge. Secondly, the PvP is coming in December. Are you going to change your stance in December? It's going to more than likely be a factor then, correct? I think they didn't launch the PvP at launch because of this. Because Ubisoft knew people would be going crazy if, in fact, they were allowing people to buy cars immediately using real-world money with a PvP element. Therefore, they postponed that motherfucker. This way, there is no controversy surrounding the actual release of this game. The launch window, more specifically, because as we all know, that's the most important time for a game. That makes sense? It's just an opinion, but I, for the life of me, can't figure out any other reasonable explanation as to why the PvP wouldn't be there at launch. PvP was there at launch for the original game. Here we are years later, technology evolving, developers getting a better grip and understanding with these consoles and all this other great, amazing stuff. Yet, the PvP isn't there. Can anyone tell me why on earth that is? Give me a reasonable explanation. Because they ran out of time? We're talking about a AAA studio here with quite a few developers. They ran out of money? I mean, seriously, what could the excuse be? If they needed more time, they should have took it. But these developers know we're suckers, okay? And being on Twitter for a little while earlier today reinforced that idea. The loot system is complete shit. It's garbage, color-coded RNG bullshit. What kind of racing fans like to rely on that sort of stuff to upgrade their cars? I don't think anybody. I could be wrong, but the way I see it, we want to have as much freedom as possible to customize cars to our exact liking, having as many tools at our disposal to do so. Well, Pixel, this is just your shit opinion. Some people might like the loot system. Well, I got news for you, buddy. Ubisoft shares the same opinion. Listen to me carefully now. They're planning on overhauling the system. It's in their roadmap. That's right. Change the loot system. I don't know what that tells you, but what it says to me is that they are acknowledging the loot system is complete shit. There is quite a few things they need to do to tighten up this experience. There is so much goddamn poppin', it's amazing. To the point where sometimes it takes me out of the game and gets me all fucked up when I'm trying to race. One thing I also noticed in some of these items that you can actually equip to your car, the upgrades, they seem to be an icon of one of these bigger YouTubers or streamers, his avatar or something of that nature. I mean, Ubisoft, seriously, is this what you were fucking focusing on? How many bigger YouTubers and streamers you could get to market and promote your games? It's getting beyond cringe. I can't tell you how many people are getting sick and tired of this bullshit shilling. I mean, seriously, it's a turn-off. It's not a great look at the end of the day. I mean, I know these people don't care as long as they're getting paid. That's all that matters. But still, I mean, come on, man. You're going overboard with that shit. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. The developers of this game made one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Test Drive Unlimited 2. And this shit makes me so sad because in every single possible way, that game was superior in every single possible capacity, including content day one, including the activities you could actually do within the game, including variety. Every single thing you could possibly think of, Test Drive Unlimited 2, a very old game, mind you, did it better. And I just can't wrap my head around why that is. Why don't we have the ability to do some cool stuff like actually visiting car dealerships with our friends, you know, actually going out there and buying land, buying property, buying garages? Why isn't this in the game? Also, you got this gigantic map. Why wouldn't you organize a day one event where you have about 100 people entering each one, where you need to see who can get from one side of the map, one coast of the country, to the other? I'm going to be honest with you, most of the fun I have had with this game is listening to other people's ideas on the internet on what kind of cool stuff would make this game better. And we're not talking about these giant, complex, unrealistic ideas. We're talking about basic shit. First of all, there aren't enough activities, and the activities we do have, well, let me just say something. I enjoy taking pictures. Whose idea was it to have the player come to a screeching halt to take a fucking picture? This game, and games like this, is all about momentum, going fast, getting an adrenaline rush. Come to a screeching halt to take a picture of a fucking coyote? Are you shitting me? And it goes without saying, this is stuff you don't have to do, you're not forced to do, but when there's money behind it, when there's achievements behind it, and if you're a completionist type of person, you're going to do it. I mean, seriously, some of this game design, it's insulting. It's so incredibly shallow. Take a picture? I mean, you couldn't think of more exciting, more engaging activities than that? I could understand, like in the game Test Drive Unlimited 2, when you had a variety of different activities that being just one of them, that would be one thing. But in this game, I don't give a fuck about what's coming a year down the line. Don't talk to me about fucking updates. In a year or so, I'm more than likely going to be dead. I mean, seriously. We paid $60 fucking for it. I want to know what's going on now. What is in it now? I mean, seriously. This has nothing to do with being an impatient gamer, you idiots. This has all to do with companies thinking it's okay to release games when they know they need more time, when they know the content isn't complete yet, when they know we're going to just lay down, roll over, and accept it. And all kidding aside, I'm fucking sick of it. I really am. What makes matters worse is that we have developers here who have proven they are capable of making an enjoyable, complete experience using inferior technology. So you have to ask the question, what has changed? What has changed since then? Since they were with Atari, creating Test Drive Unlimited 2? Well, they're with Ubisoft now. That's the only thing I can think of that changed.